The 69th legislature is underway at the state capitol. MTN senior political reporter Jonathan Ambarian has an update from the swearing in of lawmakers.
The first day of the Montana legislative session is focused on ceremony and celebration, but the real work is going to begin before too long. At noon, the Senate and House each convened for the first time this year. 100 representatives and 50 senators took the oath of office.
And that I will discharge the duties of my office.
With fidelity, so help me God.
Even for lawmakers who've been in the Capitol a long time, this day means a lot. Republican Representative Lou Jones and Democratic Representative Mary Cafaro are each starting their 11th legislative session.
For me personally, it's still the same as it's always been. Very excited, and I'm very eager to represent the people that voted for me to come here.
Well, you do get more used to being sworn in, but it's still an amazing place to be part of. The pictures, the ceremony, the pomp, it reminds you that you're one of a group of a few folks that get to stand up and represent for Montana, and so it's always special.
The newly seated House has 58 Republicans and 42 Democrats. The Senate has 32 Republicans and 18 Democrats. The Republicans still have strong majorities. They're short of the two-thirds supermajority they held in 2023. Men make up just under two-thirds of the legislature and women one-third. There are also one non-binary and one transgender female lawmaker. 12 lawmakers are Native American.
We all represent our communities, and when we come here, we're representing people who we go to church with. We represent people who we cheer on the local football team with together. And I always say we weave a great diverse quilt and do a very good job representing Montana.
We may adamantly disagree on issues, but everybody got elected by a similar number of people. And most folks are coming here because they want to make a difference. And so the better you can understand folks, the better you can get to know folks and their story, the more likely it is you can find some common ground for the benefit of the state.
Legislative committees will begin their regular schedules, including hearing bills on Tuesday. In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
Well, today marks the first of 90 working days for the legislature. The state constitution gives them 90 days every 2 years to complete their work, most notably passing the state's budget. While the legislative calendar tends to change during the session, the last day is currently scheduled for April 30th. One key milestone in the calendar is the transmittal deadline, when most bills must pass through at least one chamber to stay alive. It's set for the 48th day, and that's currently March 4th. As of Sunday night, lawmakers had asked for more than 4,200 bill drafts, though many of those won't result in actual legislation. In 2023, more than 4,300 draft requests were submitted by this point. But before lawmakers started their work in the House and Senate chambers, statewide elected leaders were sworn in on the steps of the Capitol. MTN's John Riley reports.
A couple hundred Montanans gathered on the north side of the state capitol on Monday for inauguration ceremonies for Montana's top statewide elected leaders. Montana Governor Greg Gianforte set the tone for his next term.
For the first time in nearly 130 years, Montanans have entrusted Republicans with every statewide office, both chambers of the legislature, and every congressional seat. Ultimately, Montanans spoke loud and clear. They want leadership that delivers. That trust carries a solemn responsibility, and together we will deliver.
At the event, Gianforte, Lieutenant Governor Kristen Juris, Attorney General Austin Knudsen, and Secretary of State Christy Jacobson were sworn in for their second terms. State Auditor Jim Brown and Superintendent Susie Hedlund took their oath of office for their first terms. The inauguration ceremonies on Monday were a stark difference from those 4 years ago. Gianforte's first term as governor began during the height of the COVID pandemic. His last inauguration was a limited attendance ceremony in the governor's conference room. Masks were a common sight at the 2021 legislative session, being worn mainly by Democrats, legislative staff, and some Republicans.
4 years ago, when I took this oath of office, we faced uncertainty in the wake of the pandemic that had upended so many lives. Families grieved. Businesses were shuttered. Montanans, true to our spirit, rose up. Together, we unleashed freedom, we reopened our economy, and we proved that with determination we can weather any storm.
Gianforte has already laid out his priorities for the state's budget, with an emphasis on reducing taxes and investing in public safety. At the event, the governor also said he's happy to work with anyone who has a good idea to help Montanans. Reporting in Helena, John Riley, MTN News.